Well, then let's talk about what you're doing outside the classroom.
Yeah.
Outside of your academics, outside of your courses, what have you been doing?
So they say don't follow a classic med school checklist, but I kind of did that. So,
What is the classic checklist?
Yeah.
so the classic checklist is you do some kind of research, you have some kind of clinical experience, and then you have some kind of pre-med club. I have all three of those.
Well, let's go one by one.
So as a freshman, I joined, as you brought up earlier, Global Medical Admissions Alliance. That's my only pre-med club that I'm in. And that club specifically, we do medical mission trips abroad to countries like Cambodia, Philippines, Mexico. I just went to Honduras last year with them. And they not only do they have a focus on global health, so you can get exposed to that field, but also that was my first exposure to shadowing physicians and being able to see what a physician does, not only in the global health sense, but also at our club, we do a lot of shadowing just within their personal, like private clinics and whatnot. So also here or there in the US, how their life goes. So, yeah.
And then the other ones?
Yeah. So, I do developmental biology research. So the third of MCDB and
MCDB?
molecular cell
Right.
developmental bio. So I do developmental bio research at the Sears lab where it's specifically I study bats as a model organism for aging. It's really fascinating to me, and I highly recommend for anyone who wants to do research that as an undergraduate, it doesn't matter what your research is in, so long as it's something you're genuinely interested in, because that will kind of fuel you to make the most out of your research experience. And this project is something I'm very interested in because it holds a lot of it kind of is an interdisciplinary project on two things that I really love, which is ecology and obviously medicine, where it has implications on human health and human aging. Bats are the longest lived mammal relative to their size, and body size is an indicator of how long you live. And so it's really fascinating, especially in today when humans are living longer than ever before, and our scientific focus is more so towards on treating chronic diseases rather than acute ones. It's really fascinating research to be done in the field of longevity. So through kind of my opportunities at that lab, but also really spurred by my interest in this project, I was able to take on some paid scholarships, fellowships. I was able to conduct research. I was able to poster at postering sessions, present at different undergraduate level presentations, and also write a couple culminating papers on this this project. So I really think that comes from my interest in the project rather than the project itself being worth something.
And how did you get this research opportunity?
So I went with the classic cold email approach where I went down the list of faculty members within my major and I was going to email each one of them. But I cared so much more about quality than quantity in the sense of I really greedily and ambitiously wanted a project that I was very interested in. So I actually started out only emailing 2 professors, not emailing like 50 at once, but I was going to go one at a time, ranked with the projects that I was most interested in. And so thankfully, the first one that I actually emailed was the Sears Lab, because that project had everything I wanted in it. I came in actually as an ecology major because that's what I was most interested in. So I cold emailed them. they didn't get back to me. It's typical. So I followed up, I think 2 times. And then the second time they got back to me and they were like, oh, yeah, let's meet up. So, yeah, if anyone really found that kind of project as well, and maybe they're having a hard time contacting them, I would say as long as they don't say no, you got to keep pressing forward on that because it's so rare to find a project that you're really interested in. So, beyond just emailing the I would really recommend why not next time when you follow up on an email, how about you email one of the PhD students? How about you email one of the postdocs there? And then if all else fails in emailing, you can always try to go up in person and ask as well. I've done that as well. So, yeah.
And what was the last club that you said you were doing?
Club.
Or extracurricular?
Yeah, so as far as clinical experience as a undergraduate, there's 3 very popular kind of traditional ways that people get a clinical job. And that's either the EMT, which is the emergency medicine technician. I might be wrong on that, but EMT. And then there's the phlebotomy slash MA, which is medical assistant, where you're either blood drawing or you're helping with like back office work or front office work. And then there's the medical scribing, which has become much more popular these days. Out of the 3, I originally chose phlebotomy because it sounded honestly the coolest to me, where you get to draw other people's blood. It's some kind of procedure that you get to do that I thought would speak well to your ability to carry those things out. And I also thought it gave the most personal form of experience in giving care. But I actually transitioned to scribing. So I've been doing that for 1 full year now. The reason for that was because as a medical scribe, you really, I don't think there's any experience that gives you a better idea of the lifestyle and the job of being a doctor than a medical scribe. Because, first of all, your shifts are the same as that doctor, so you get to really live out that life. But also, as a medical scribe, your job itself is to be writing notes on what the doctor is thinking, prescribing, or doing at all times. And so you are literally in the mind of a physician at all times. And so, what experience gives you a better outlook on that job itself? So, that's why I chose to scribe for a year. I just recently became the associate chief scribe, so I'll be able to do more leadership work and kind of get insight into health administration now. So I'm really excited for that.